This is Tank's Vlog for October 15th, 2018. Wrapping up the day in sports. We are brought to you by Allow Me to Be Frank, the weekly podcast you can hear on SoundCloud and iTunes. Listen, we have new shows coming out every week. Typically on Tuesday is when the new show drops. So listen now. Listen to last week's show. Listen to one from the past. What an NFL Sunday. You know, we have the baseball playoffs going on. Baseball playoffs might as well have been played on Mars for how crazy a Sunday this was for the NFL. And the craziest game of the year might have been in Miami, with the Miami Dolphins, with injuries. 2 offensive linemen hurt, and then Ryan Tannehill doesn't go, so it's Brock Osweiler going against the Chicago Bears. And the first half, it was all Dolphins. Dolphins defense came out big. The Bears were a little flat coming off the bye week. And Dolphins scored a touchdown out of the way. Nick Leary made a nice catch. Of course, Nick Leary, the grandson of the greatest golfer of all time, Jack Nicklaus. And the Dolphins were up 7-0. Bears finally started getting going near the end of the half, but big fumble force at the end zone, Jordan Howard. More on fumbles at the goal line later. Then the things fell apart in the third quarter. Bears came out firing. Brock Osweiler made a big mistake. Next thing you know, Dolphins are down 21-10. But Miami, unlike when they have Ryan Trashy Hill in at quarterback, took a deep breath, didn't panic, as Ryan Trashy Hill always does. By the way, if there's a quarterback controversy, I want Brock and roll. No more Ryan Trashy Hill. I'm on the Brock Osweiler bandwagon. I saw more guts and determination in Brock Osweiler today than I ever seen in Ryan Trashy Hill. So, Dolphins. And, of course, Albert Wilson. What can you say about Albert Wilson? I mean, this guy is like looking at tacklers trying to get him when he gets in the open field and gets some space is like trying to stop a race car from going by. It's racing right by you. And the Dolphins tied the game. Then the Bears go back in front. And you know who it was again? And the Dolphins tied the game again. We go to overtime. And this crazy roller coaster game. You're down. You didn't think they have a Dolphins have a chance. But then they played good in the first half. But then the third quarter, they looked like they were dead. But in the fourth quarter, they rose up and tied the game. And in overtime, they looked like they had the game won. And then Kenyon Drake fumbles at the goal line. Devastation, 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 devastation. I mean, it was like you're just waiting for the Bears to put the dagger, the nail in the coffin. But instead of trying to win the game, Mitch Trubisky, who they needed to make a Mitch Trubisky meme, have Mitch Trubisky pointing at Ryan Tannehill, like the Spider-Man meme. Yes, when I see Mitch Trubisky, I see Ryan Trashy Hill. So, they get in field goal range, but they don't try to advance the ball further. So they're left with a 52-yard field goal, and Cody Parkey missed it. Prayers were answered for the Dolphins. Dolphins got the ball back. Drake made a couple good runs. They got back in the field goal range and won the game 31-28. I mean, heart-stopping, just crazy roller coaster of emotions. Dolphins are now 4-2 and will host the Lions next week. Also of note was the Sunday night game. And it was everything you expected. You heard Brady, you heard Patrick Mahomes, and you saw both teams don't play well on defense at all. And you knew it was going to be a shootout, you knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, and it didn't disappoint. It was going to be one of those games where whoever had the ball last was going to win. And Mahomes made that great pass to Tyreek Hill, went 75 yards, but he left way too much time for Tom Brady. Tom Brady found the right pass, got Rob Gronkowski down in field goal range. Patriots win. Patriots win 41-38. Now, looking around the rest of the NFL, it was the Falcons almost choking away another double-digit fourth-quarter lead. If it wasn't for Deshaun Jackson, they would have lost this game. Buccaneers got into deep in the Falcon territory with no time left on the clock, and they started louding the ball around, and Deshaun Jackson, instead of being patient, starts going, give me the ball, and then the ball goes rolling by him. So Buccaneers. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after such a good start, the ship be sinking. What happens when the Cincinnati Bengals play the Pittsburgh Steelers? The Bengals blow it. And the Bengals blew it again. Had a lead in the fourth quarter. Rallied. Looked like they were going to have a comeback win. But the Steelers go up the field. And you know they benefit from penalties all the time. It's like the Bengals can't help themselves. Can't help myself. We got to commit a penalty. It's amazing how many times the Bengals have given Steelers key first downs in game-winning drives, and it happened again. It's like that's what happens with the Bengals. They blow it all the time. They're undisciplined. That's why I think the Cincinnati Bengals are an utter joke. But it was Pittsburgh 28-21. And now go into a bye week at 3-2-1. Browns came back to earth as they were clobbered by the Los Angeles Chargers 38-14. In London, the Seahawks showed up and the Oakland Raiders didn't. So instead, it was the London Silly Nannies out there losing 27-3. Oh, wait a second. That was the Raiders? Oops, sorry. I thought it was the Silly Nannies. Oh. I mean, it was just an utterly crazy game all day long. Vikings 27-17 winner over the Cardinals. The Jets honored Super Bowl III as they played the Colts and won 42-34. It was the Redskins holding off a late rally by the Panthers, 23-17. Houston. Buffalo rallied. After being down 10-0 at the half, took a 13-10 lead in the fourth quarter. But Josh Allen was hurt. That means Nathan Peterman. And you know what that means. Pick six! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Pick six. Pick six. I am now convinced that Nathan Peterman is, without doubt, write it in stone granite. Nathan Peterman, you are the worst quarterback of all time. You are the WOAT. Nathan Peterman, you are the WOAT. There's nobody does it worse makes me feel sad for Buffalo. Nobody is quite as horrible as you. Baby, 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 you're the worst. When you made your debut, you threw 5 interceptions before the first half was true. In start number 2, it was more number 2. You got benched once again. When the game was on the line, you blew it. More interceptions than completions. Nobody's worse. Nobody's quite as bad as you. Nathan Peterman, you're the worst. Todd Gurley had a huge day in Denver as the game played in freezing conditions. It snowed earlier in the day in Denver. Saw the Rams beat the Broncos 23-20. Denver, after a 2-0 start, has now lost 4 in a row, and people are out to get Vance Joseph. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were off to a good start, have become bortled. You've been bortled. Boom! When you have Blake, you got no chance to win. Blake Bortles is a sin. Once again, Blake Bortles is killing Jacksonville Jaguars. They might have a great defense, but boy, they were on the field so much. They are sucking wind. They're tired. They got destroyed in Dallas, 40-7. And you know, the defense didn't play good today. But, you know, when you're on the field all the time because Blake Bortles can't complete a simple pass, what a joke. And Dak Prescott. I mean, this guy slips through more tackles than anyone else. It really is like he's the greased-up deaf guy from Family Guy. Ooh, you can't catch me. Ooh, see ya. Ooh. The same can't be said for Marcus Mariota, who was today turned into White Castle hamburgers as he was sacked 11 times. Ravens 21-0 winners in Nashville. There was baseball today, ALCS. David Price was rocked once again. But this time the Red Sox actually got a win. As Garrett Cole was even worse and he got rattled as the Red Sox rolled to a 7-5 win, splitting this series in Fenway, and now the series shifts to Houston for the next 3 games. So somehow the Red Sox got to find a way to win 2 out of 3 in Houston. Not an easy proposition. So just like the NLCS, the ALCS is even. So we're now in a best-of-5 situation. In hockey, there are 3 games played. The Winnipeg Jets beat the Hurricanes 3-1. The Ducks beat the Blues. And, of course, the New Jersey Devils are 3-0. And why are they 3-0? Because Kyle Palmieri scored 2 goals again. Do you believe so far the Devils have played 3 games? Kyle Palmieri has 6 goals. If he keeps up this pace, he will score 164 goals. I think that would be a record. I mean, Kyle Palmieri, he's a good player. But wow, what a start Kyle Palmieri is off to. And you can't be the Devils look really good. It is a really exciting team. It's a fun team. I don't know if they're going to win the cup this year, but boy, they are a fun team to watch. So if you're in New Jersey, you got to come out and see the Devils play at the Rock as they beat the Sharks today 3-2. Today's 3 stars are Todd Gurley of the Rams, who had 208 yards. Albert Wilson, who had 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vroom! To the Chicago Bears defense. And Kyle Palmieri, who has 6 goals in his first 3 games. Today's sports birthday shout-out goes to the first African-American to play in the NHL, getting into the Hall of Fame this year, Willie O'Ree, who turns 83. And we take a look back to one of the classic moments in World Series history. If ever a World Series was won in Game 1, it was this time, and it was Kirk Gibson on 2 bad legs, hitting a home run off of Dennis Eckersley to win Game 1 of the World Series. Dodgers won at 5-4 and ended up winning in 5 games because they literally ripped the heart out of the A's right then and there. So check out the full story at Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia, where sports history lives. And listen to Allow Me to Be Frank on iCloud and SoundTunes. And just remember, Nathan Peterman, no matter how bad you are at your job, you're not as bad as Nathan Peterman is at his. Good day.